Hello, Land Academy. I'm Stephen Jack Butella. This is Jill DeWitt,
Wait, we're starting early.
and we're starting early today.
Oops. I hope it's okay with our team. Like what? How are we early? How are we? We're not everybody's like, I don't usually log in until 5 or 10 after. So
We'll do it Jill's way. We're going to wait a few minutes for everybody to log in. We typically wait about 5 minutes till after the hour.
we can talk about football.
Sure.
Or we can talk about dishwashers. That's going on in our world today. uh, hey, we recorded a cool Brandon Parker. I'm just gonna gab while we're giving everybody a minute to log in here. So I don't know if you know him. I did not, but he was very lovely and he was breaking down our door apparently to get us on his show. So we recorded a podcast on his show today. Not really sure what it's called, and it was a good episode. I think it was. Anyway, so when I think he said it's going to air in about 3 weeks. So we'll be sure and get the links so you can watch it, because felt like we were like, some days you're like, we weren't on today. We were really kind of sucked. I hope that wasn't boring, but we were actually doing pretty well today. I was very, very proud of us. Unlike normal, just kidding.
I think we did great.
We did. Oh, is that it? Okay, thank you.
We made fun of each other.
There we go.
Very effectively.
Our team put it in their Legends of Land podcast. So he did make a funny joke. So I guess if we are the legends of Land.
Did he say that?
No, but I just can't put that.
I don't want to be a legend.
Even when we were talking, he's like, I didn't realize quite how long you've been around, and he didn't quite know our whole backstory. So that was really, really good. I'll ask my team here too when we can expect to launch in, since we're kind of early today. It is kind of weird. So the reason I'm pausing again, I'm letting everyone have a few minutes. Everybody knows we're 5 after-ish the hour, and my team uses that time to open this up a little bit to the planet,
So I'm rushing everybody. I see.
YouTube and Facebook. So you are never rushing anybody. You are always in charge, and whatever you say goes. There we go. Yes, we are home. You probably noticed our background is not, it's a little more expansive. You know what? We should take a picture of this. This would have been funny if we put a picture of this in the RV. That's our background.
We could do that.
Yeah. I've never done that. People like, they always have the fake backgrounds or they put other things up. I've never done that. My background is my background is my background. I have done live events with you from a car. Gosh, remember there was a time a couple years ago, we were driving home from Utah or something, and I had promised some live event. And I'm literally sitting in a car parking lot of like a fast food place, because that's where we could get the best signal. And I talked for an hour.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was so hilarious. Like we had to do it wherever it was. So cool. All right, back to the show.
Go ahead, Jill.
Okay.
You're good at talking today.
Oh, thanks. I am Jill DeWitt. This is Stephen Jack Butala. We are Land Academy. And if you're joining us from YouTube or Facebook, welcome. We started a couple weeks or so ago to open this up to the public for just the first 10-15 minutes of our member call. So you can get a little understanding about who we are, what we're doing, talk about the industry, because that helps everybody. And then in a few minutes, we're going to close it up for just our members, because we want to talk about some deals and really focus on them and stuff that they're working on and they need from us today. We do this every Thursday. We get together with everyone in Land Academy and House Academy and look at deals, answer questions, whatever it is. I don't think we have any announcements today.
Let's see.
We're going to check here. Oh, we do have a question though.
Yeah.
So let's go. We have a question of the week. I have a newbie question. I have a signed purchase agreement for a property that looks promising, but my offer price was too high. Purchase price $16,000. What I'd actually like to buy it for is somewhere between $8,000 to $11,000.
Yay for you knowing
Yeah.
that, first of all. And this is very common. I'm glad this question's in here.
Is it possible to negotiate a lower price when the seller has already signed the purchase agreement? How do you approach that, Jenny? Totally. Okay.
This is Jill's middle name. This is what happens all day long on the phone with her. She is adjusting my purchase prices.
That is true.
Go ahead.
That's very true. Well, I mean, that's kind of how it goes in our business. You're the data guy, you're the front end guy, you're picking the areas, you're pricing them and doing all the work, and then it gets to me. And then sometimes there's a need for adjustment. Usually I'm adjusting because there's a need. And maybe it's even an old mailer. Maybe when Jenny sent this out, it was 6 months ago and she might have paid 16 and now she's not. I mean, that could be too. That
So it's
happens
not the pricing fault.
all the time. It
Could just
could
be
not be the
timing.
pricing, or it could have been, could be something going on. Jenny sent it out thinking it was waterfront. Jenny sent it out thinking it had legal and physical access. Jenny sent it out thinking it was closer to such and such town. Those are all good. Or Jenny sent it out assuming there were no back taxes. And so all those are valid reasons. And so you use one of those to say, we got to talk. And
there's a reason that you believe it's worth $8,000 to $11,000, and I would communicate that with the seller.
That's it.
I think I would say something like this. Look, but this doesn't happen all the time, but I have to tell you, we send out a lot of offers, and I reviewed the acquisition pretty hardcore, and it doesn't have the access that I thought it did. So because of that, I feel like it's worth $8,000.
I do a little differently.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I like to let them think that I didn't send out that many. I like to let them think that they're very special. But there is something wrong. Like, shucks, I still really like the property. Here's the good news. I still really like the property and I do want to buy it. But the bad news is because of this and this, I give them like just two things. Don't give them 40. And I like more than one, and it's easy to throw in there. I wish it was closer to fill in the blank because that could be anything. You could use that every time. I wish it was closer to this. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't have, the whatever, it's size or something. I don't know. Could be an access thing.
My point is there's a real reason.
Yeah. You give them the two reasons and then you say, but here's the deal. So because of that, the best I can do is, and just give them one number. I don't give them a range too. So whatever your number is, Jenny, I would, you pick it and sit on it. Gosh, I do still really want it, but my purchase price is now $9,000. If that works for you, great. I have Susie at ABC Title ready to go. I can open this up tomorrow morning. She's standing by. So
call to action.
There you go. You're ready to go and get them a check. Give them a moment to breathe. Let them think about it and answer you. Don't, just try to push it through. Assume if they say, I got to think about this, that's okay. Where are you going to be tomorrow and what time you want me to call you? And I totally get it. Because they need to talk to their wife. They need to talk to their fill in the blank, whatever, or just sleep on it. I totally understand.
If you remember, please go ahead and load up the questions in the Q&A for the call. The general public can't see the questions. We got a bunch of questions already and a bunch of transactions to review. So the earlier you can post your questions, the better, so we can gauge time.
Cool. Next week, regular week for us, we have our shows are still 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We have Career Path 10. Next week is week 7 for us, 7 of 8. So Career Path is our real high level mastermind coaching environment. And that we do twice a year right now. It could go to once a year, FYI. Right now it's twice a year. So we're wrapping that up in the next couple weeks. And then of course our member call. Cool. And you have some stuff for us.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at this deal. This is a transaction that just on a regular Thursday call, just like this. Somebody submitted, they ended up buying it and reselling it. And let's look how it goes. It's in Pinal County, Arizona, which is southeast.
Southeast of Phoenix?
Southeast of Phoenix, excuse me. On White Wing Road, Joe, if you're familiar.
Why do I know that road?
Here's the property.
Mm-hmm.
Because we purchased property down here a lot.
Mm-hmm. I'm like so familiar, yes. Was it us? Is this ours?
It was not.
Oh, okay.
It was somebody presented it, a member in our group, and they called. Here they paid. They paid about $5,000 for it. I remember reviewing the transaction, and you can see they sold it, listed it for 40 and sold it for 20 really quickly, right at the end of last year.
And that's okay.
So it turns out that you can make a bunch of money in real estate, and you can send out mail just like we do, and you can do it.
Really?
It works. Yeah.
Okay.
This is what we explained on the podcast today, where we were the guests. Our whole business is buy a piece of land and sell it for more.
No, but we used to have to explain that all the time. We were talking about that. I'm like, it's so nice. I haven't had that question in years, but boy, I mean, next year, it's going to be 10 years of Land Academy. 10 years ago, everybody's like, what the heck are you doing? And how are you making money on the land? You're doing something to the land, right? Nope. Well, what about this? What about that? I'm like, nope, nope, and nope. So I'm like, you buy it for 20, you buy it for 5 because it's worth 20, or you buy it for 20 because it's worth 75. And they're like, whoa, stop the press. They're like, how do you do that? We can show you.
A former member, a very successful former member, sent me a YouTube video this morning. I'm going to share it. I just put it in the chat with all of you. I'll pull it up so that you can see what it looks like.
I loved this.
I would highly recommend that you watch this. It is all about the state of what we can expect for real estate in 2025. It's packed full of statistics and data backing its opinion that this company's opinion that we're headed for some pretty serious inventory overload in 2025, specifically with SFRs. What's really changed over the last 60 to 90 days, this is really fresh data, is that the very large publicly traded home builders are disclosing to their shareholders and consequently the public how much inventory they actually have, and the concessions that they're offering to move newly built houses and new inventory are in many cases larger than their actual profit margin.
Yeah, they are losing money on some of just to get them off their books.
So Jill and I watched this separately. We watched it together, and then we had, which is very unusual for us, a 1 hour meeting this morning, maybe 1.5 hours about what we're going to do next year. And I'll tell you, it's this. We will be buying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of single family residences in rural markets next year. I believe that the market will correct itself between 20 and 40%. So there will be a 20 to 40% median sale price reduction over the course of 2025. So please watch this. It's really good, really informative. Yeah. I will watch it again. It's so packed with statistics. I couldn't keep up. Yeah. I had to pause. That's true. I paused it. I'm like, oh, I was trying to do other things. I'm like, nope, that needs my attention. I got to go back and watch that again. So I would like for our review of this each week to reflect what I just said. And it isn't yet. And I'm not sure why. And I expect one time we're going to pull this up, this week by week reporting of median sale prices and listings and things like that. Oops, sorry, Will. He put it in the chat, but not to everyone. He'll copy and paste it. Oh, sorry, you're right. No problem. Thank you for reminding me. You're welcome. I just noticed that. I saw it in the chat and then I realized he didn't put to everybody. He put everybody but Will. Sent it to our staff. Just kidding. Our staff's like, said everybody but Will. I'm kidding. Well. Yeah, exactly. Now we got it. All right, let's look at the weekly trends. So median listing prices are the same. They're flat. If you look at, and if you look at the document that we live and die by, which I'll pull up. It's loading. It'll take a second. These are national statistics. They may not apply to where you send mail and where you're investing or buying houses or land or whatever. And so, in fact, I know they don't because they're staying flat nationally. I'm waiting for this file to load. But in each zip code, they vary widely. We were talking in Career Path last week about there's people in career path that are pretty invested in certain places in the DFW area, and they're getting pounded. So you can see each zip code has these statistics. The source of the data for this is this file. And the National Association of Realtors is nice enough to share it with us. But you can see in this zip code, 85326, the one that just happens to be on the screen, it's a little bit flat. You can see in this zip code in Arizona, a couple of years ago, they're experiencing 160% price over price, median listing prices year over year increases. And here's the price adjustment that we all expect. Now it's down 60 to 70%. So in those zip codes, it's not flat. So please download this file. Here, I'll give you the link to that too, and do your own research.
So dig into your areas.
See if Will got that.
Will and Jen, you see? I know everybody else is okay. Just kidding.
Hey, all kidding aside,
yeah,
we're going to see some serious real estate devaluation next year. So get ready. Jill and I are, we'll in about 2 weeks, it'll be released, but we did a podcast about what you need to do to prepare for this, because you want to buy a lot of real estate.
Yep.
I wish we would have purchased everything in 2009.
Oh, yeah.
So take it from us. This is what, our third or fourth recession, my fourth professional recession. And every time, but not this time, we will be buying. And one of the things you're going to need to do, and we talked about it on the show, is line up financing, not debt financing, equity partners. That's
Which
it.
we all have.
Let's look at real estate
within our group here.
If that's not depressing enough, actually, it's really good news.
I'm excited.
And look at mortgage rates.
You know, it's funny. Like I've been complaining about, having all this money at the end of the year. I don't like it. But on the flip side, now that we're home and we're settled and we've been watching and talking about this, I'm like, oh, now I'm actually feeling good about having this extra cash.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. I'm like, it's okay.
Grady says if you're anticipating price corrections of 20 to 40% in 2025, how does that impact the pricing that you're currently offering when you're making offers to purchase right now? Or do you just follow the same methodology? What ends up happening, this is an incredibly good question. What ends up happening both with land and houses is that because we so aggressively price mailers and we teach it in Land Academy, the amount that we actually pay for the assets doesn't vary very much. What varies is how many freaking properties you buy and how easy it is on her for just to pick up the phone and take the order. So the same mailer, generally the same prices. SFRs the very nature of how you price SFRs, houses versus land, you're using fresh data, fresh algorithmic data to price it. So that takes care of the offer amounts while you're doing the mailer. I hope that's clear. The pricing is about the same. The amount of deals that you do should dramatically increase. So you want to make sure you have a bunch of dough. I hope this is not our internet. Let's see.
It goes back like we were talking.
So we have seen a slight dip in mortgage rates. That's a really good sign. I haven't looked at this because last week was a holiday. 6.8% down from 7%. A lot of fluctuation in mortgage rates. Geez. Just at the end of beginning of October, it was 6%. So it's coming back down a little. It's good news. One of the things, and I'll end on this, that the video said that really stuck with me is last time around 2009, the way that the Fed got involved to rectify the fact that there was so much inventory and a massive price reduction was to lower mortgage rates or interest rates, which mortgage rates usually follow. We can't do that this time because we're in an inflationary scenario, and reducing mortgage rates down to 1%, not mortgage rates, interest rates down to 1% like the Fed did in 2009 would create a massive inflationary scenario way worse than we have now. So I don't know how this is going to play out. I just know it's going to be way cheaper.
And we're all going to be ready for it.
Yeah.
What do you
Okay.
mean I don't get that fill in the blank for Christmas? Not this year, honey, but you just
You
wait.
get a 3-bedroom, two bath house in Southern Illinois.
That's what you get this year.
Southern Illinois. I don't know.
Yeah.
With more inventory expected, Will says, with more inventory expected in 2025, does that potentially increase how long you can expect to hold the property? Nope, because we buy them cheap.
Mhm.
These are good questions. You know, what you guys are really asking is what's going to change, and nothing's going to change. You're just going to buy a lot more property. You're not going to price it really any differently. You're not going to hold it any longer. Or, you know, there's people have built rental empires during recessions. So if you're here because you want to buy properties that are conducive to renting out, next year's the time to do it. Probably right at the beginning of the second quarter. Go ahead, Joe.
I hadn't thought about that. Richard says, with the incoming deportations that will occur, is there going to be a noticeable lowering of housing demand, especially for landlords who may find no one to rent in their area? Am I imagining this, or do you see it as a logical outcome?
So we're in Phoenix, and nowhere will this be more acute than here. And I'll let you know. I don't know if this is some campaign speech that will be fulfilled or unfulfilled. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. And so we'll see. But I can tell you that we have friends who own properties that are, their tenant profile is exactly what you're describing, and we'll see.
Matt says it brought up fourplex slightly under market in September, looking to sell for small profit to focus solely on land.
Good.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's time
We're
for us to
close it up and
look at some
say
deals. Yeah.
bye to the planet. And thanks for joining us. And we're going to pivot to our member Q&A here.